Okay, so here in part three, we're going to talk about actually collapsing this to fold it and then making adjustments based on moving stuff around. So I folded this crease pattern as marked, and I did in fact get what is displayed here. However, some of my flaps were configured awkwardly and they were kind of stuck under things, so I did some flipping around of layers of paper to actually get something that resembles the stick figure that we originally designed. So let's take a look here. So I'm going to show you sort of the top-down view so you can get a sense of how this looks compared to our original stick figure. So the this 5 length segment, this flap, came out correctly. And so as I stated before, what I plan to do is sort of reverse fold this up in either direction, like so. And then that will give us a, let me make this a touch smaller here. That'll give us sort of Puppy Shark's head dorsal fin situation. So great. Now that I'm looking at this, I have in the stick figure, these look like adorable little chubby legs, and that's great. But when we look at it from the side, when I when I go to shape here, I'm not 100% convinced that these will reach down the way that I want to. You know, there's some things you can do with shaping folds. Like I could open this up inside and then round out the body a little so they look like they stick out. But it looks like with this box pleated design, I got some legs. Also, these flaps are kind of bent in a weird direction, and I might want to release a layer of paper or something like that to where's why are you, oh no, where is that layer of paper? Over here. Huh. Why was it so easy on one side and not the other side? Oh no. Anyway, well, that's a mystery for another time. But open up some paper and hopefully do some shaping to get this to work. I think what I would rather do is try this again where maybe I try for... I still like having this river in the middle, but I think I want my legs to be longer than a unit so that they'll actually poke out the bottom of the model. So that was a bit of a stick figure error on my part. But when you're doing box pleated designs, you'll run into a lot of situations where you actually fold it up, and the reality of how things stretch around makes your design not so great. However, if you get fast at using things like Orihime and trying stuff out, this can be a pretty rapid iteration process. But anyway, so what happened was when I folded up my Orihime pattern, I got a thing where I couldn't quite pull all of my flaps out and separate them into this plan view that I wanted. So I kind of shuffled some layers around and finally got this. But then that means that I have like a slightly different crease pattern than I originally started out with, right? So here I look at my crease pattern and there's a bit of a difference. So what I want to do is I want to capture the changes I made in my original crease pattern so that I can so that I or other people can fold it up and actually get the plan view that I got. Right? And I would usually not bother doing this with this design because I would do a redesign of it. And oh, my doggy. But for now, I'll just show you guys how you would go about doing that. And but usually I would go back to the drawing board, maybe make these appendages wider. I might use a larger grid, or I might take some of the paper out of here because now that I'm holding this in my hands, this is just a bit ridiculous. So, yeah, so let's look at that real quick. Okay. Actually, I'm going to add One moment, please. Excellent. So I'll kind of reverse the streams here. Ugh. Okay, great. So let's look at inside my design. So what I did is I really messed around with this top corner and right hand side. And apparently the way I messed around with one side was not the same way that I messed around with the other side. So if I open these up, what I'm just going to do is look at how things collapsed down and then try to reproduce that in my crease pattern. So let's look at this. This will be the top part of my crease pattern. So it looks like these valley folds on my crease pattern are still there. And when I do this, this is sort of a hinge fold here. So it doesn't really super matter. Could leave that alone. However, this fold right here corresponds to, this fold right here, which ended up being a valley fold. So I'm going to swap that and I'm going to fix it and see if that's what my actual model looks like. And it looks like my model doesn't do that anymore. This thing that shot around the edge is gone and it's been replaced by this situation. So it looks like this fold continues down. Wait, no, wait. I don't know. I'm wrong. It's still there. Okay. But now we have this other corner bit. So this crease is new, right? No, it's not new. But we have... This one ends up being a mountain. This one ends up being a valley. And this is a valley, and that's a valley. So it's valley, valley, valley. So it ends up that this... So this is also great because I can go back and you can learn more about how paper actually collapses. So it looks like I have valley... Is it valley? Oh, this fold is new. These two are new. These two weren't here before. Okay, so let's go back. It's washed out, but basically I have this new crease here. Come on. That's, oh, it's a, undo. It's a valley. And looks like this causes a mountain fold over here. And mountain, and then just nothing here, right? Oh my gosh, you know when you like lose track of everything you're doing? Yeah, so it looks like we nix this crease that was here should no longer be there. All right, sorry. This crease in here, which will be this one on the crease pattern. Whoa, how does that work? Oh, okay. So then I ended up having this instead. Okay. So now we have a problem here where, let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of these creases wasn't actually in my final model. Sorry if I'm taking this off screen. My cameraman quit because I wouldn't pay him. And he also never existed in the first place. Okay, so it looks like I can delete this one here. At which point, I think I just swap this. And then we have whatever the heck's going on here. So now I have to look. This is still happening. That's still happening. And there's now a new diagonal that I added when I was messing around. And then this one went away. So apparently I substituted this line for 2 more diagonals. So it's probably, are they mountains? No, they're valleys. Valley. And that fixes it. So now we're going to do the little trick where we rotate, move. Oh gosh, which one's the correct one? I think it's this, the one on the right hand side. And then we reflect. All right. Wait. What? That? Oh. Let me just delete everything because it didn't delete stuff, which makes sense. Reflect. Okay, and then let's see how it folds. Uh-oh. Or not. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, is that what I get? Mine is straight. So I apparently worked out that kink that was in it, and I'm not quite sure how I did that. So the goal here, and I won't include the rest of my iterations here because honestly, I don't feel like putting the work in on a model that I'm going to revise. But what you keep doing is you keep folding it up in Orihime, and then once you correctly have all of your creases in, the Orihime fold will look like what you have in your hands, except just like it'll look like this, right? Flattened out. And that's when you know that your crease pattern you've put into Orihime is a correct reflection of what you folded up. And that way you have the ability to fold this again another time without having to do a bunch of trial and error type stuff. So these 3 videos constitute one iteration of how I design box pleated designs, where I make a stick figure, pack some squares, and then work out a crease pattern. I actually usually don't do the full specification. I'll just put the diagonals in and then try to finesse a base and then put the rest of the creases into Orihime. But if you're just starting out and you're more comfortable working with the software, and you're not as comfortable like manipulating paper for an hour and a half, Orihime will give you a much solider start. So what was not pictured was me folding up the crease pattern and reorienting it, because I don't think it's that valuable for you to watch. But basically I just pre-creased all the creases and then whoop, collapsed it up. So I hope this was useful. Yeah. Bye.